Pisces, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for March 21st to the 27th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Pisces, the lunar eclipse on Wednesday is a time of cultivation of a lot of things that perhaps you have been involved with relating to your relationships and your one-to-one connections over the past 6 months. So with this lunar eclipse in your 7th house, at the very least, you have this awareness of relationships, of the importance of them. And again, maybe even cultivating some new things or new perspectives you've been involved with in this area over the past 6 months. Now, this lunar eclipse is going to be sextiling up to Mars, so it could be quite confident, could be quite driven with those one-to-one connections, which is great. And this is specifically a Mars that's been helping you get more motivated to expand your horizons, maybe tap into your adventurous spirit. That's been a bit of a serious area with Saturn, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But with Mars, lately, this past couple of weeks, basically, there's this drive, there's this momentum to help you move forward with your life path, maybe understand more about philosophy, and again, maybe get some of that nature and expansive or adventurous spirit into your life. So very directly supported with that. And again, it could be an opening or something with relationships in some form or another with that sextile. But good assertiveness, I think, to connect on that one-to-one level. Now, this lunar eclipse is going to be opposing up to Mercury, who is conjoining the sun exact on Wednesday. So usually with this, there's that strong passion. There's that strong self-expression really coming through the communication because Mercury is going to be combust. It's going to be engulfed in the flames of the sun. So it's important to bring extra attention to that, especially because it's in your first house. All right, happy birthday, by the way, for all of you Pisceans who have your birthdays this week. But with this one, there's this, very strong passion coming through. And it's a good time to focus on self. It's a good time to pursue your goals and whatnot and start the new year with, your sign. But Mercury is about, in front of the sun, it's about extra attention here. Where can you maybe write some of these things down? Really cultivate the mind and cultivate your intellectual communicative abilities. And that can be directly related to these new beginnings here. And the big thing, too, with the lunar eclipse is that you're balancing yourself with your perspective on self and your identity and all of that with relationships. This is the classic full moon opposition importance of balance here. We can't have, healthy relationships without a healthy awareness of self. And we can't have good self-awareness without healthy relationships. And so cultivating both in your life, I think, will be important. Now, here on Wednesday as well, synchronistically, your ruler Jupiter is going to be squaring up to Saturn at the same time on Wednesday. So the slow and steady expansion, that's what this whole life path has been about, with Saturn forming this T-square up to the nodes. So with your ruler, though, in particular, being patient this week, taking things nice and slow, nice and grounded, it's definitely a time to expand and continue to move forward, specifically for you in terms of your work, or your routine, or your health, your diet, your regiments, your self-improvement, basically. And that's been, your ruler in the 6th. But with Saturn taking it nice and slow, taking it nice and steady. Now on Thursday, Mercury does trine up to Mars. So with that assertiveness and directness that I think you might have in terms of, sharing your ideas or philosophy or expanding your horizons, there's this support now where it can directly support a lot of this more mental energy that you could be expressing this week. So very good for that, very good for asserting self and moving forward with any of your goals or whatnot that you might be focused on. Now on Friday, Saturn does go retrograde. So for the next 5 months, we've got a retrograde Saturn in your 9th house, which, lately has been helping you build solid foundations and structures with that life path, with the adventurous spirit. And although Saturn comes in here and it gets a little bit serious, it's about really establishing yourself so that you have a clear sense of purpose, a clear direction, a mission, and a type of adventure that is grounded and practical and real in your life. And on an external level, it might be studying, it might be philosophy, university studies, travel that you guys are taking seriously. So whatever it is, whatever you've been building in this area, it's a good time for the next 5 months to start to reflect on that and maybe redo some of these structures. Now on Friday, though, he is going to be paused. He's going to be stationed. So it's not really until next week will that retrograde start to move. So just kind of pause for a second, kind of stop for a second in regards to the life path, the adventure, all of that 9th house stuff. And you'll find that it's just kind of assisting the this sort of integration, because Saturn is going to be squaring up to Venus at this same time on Friday. And this is really testing your spiritual self, right? Your ability to kind of pause for a second, take your time out, have that spiritual alone time, which you can really enjoy. And I think you have been enjoying perhaps that more, time out sort of energy, or working behind the scenes with Venus here. But with Saturn, it's saying, yep, patience, hard work, discipline in that area, through having to sort of pause with the life path just for a moment. Now, Venus is going to be opposing up to your ruler Jupiter at the same time on Friday, which is suggesting that you guys could be feeling like connecting to the everyday experiences in that present way. And I think that's, if you are feeling that, if you're feeling this wanting to merge the spiritual with the everyday stuff, or maybe the discipline with the spiritual, I think it's fantastic, right? That's the balance of the 12th and the 6th house. And with Venus in particular, you could just be feeling like there is this gap, there is this disparity between your values and maybe even your relationships, but that through compassion, through patience, through unconditional acceptance, that's bringing in that spiritual into these things that are expanding for you at the moment. Again, it's that classic relationship other type of energy often. Now on Saturday, the sun does trine up to Mars, so there is some good self-expression to cultivate that adventurous spirit, which is great. And again, Mars trining up to the sun, good motivation and drive perhaps over the weekend. And on Saturday, Venus does sextile up to Pluto, so there might be some new shifts, some new changes with that spiritual perspective. And it's from a lot of this change that's been happening with your career or your legacy or your productive life over many years. Which has been Pluto in that 10th. So whatever that is, it's a minor note, but seeing where you can continuously change so that you can have more of that enjoyment of your spiritual time out. All right, Pisces, so have an excellent week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.